There was nobody doing children's books exports from India. Nobody at all. I think Ajanta ventured into doing that in 92, 93 or whatever, and some Thompson was probably doing some tits and bits. So I said, why not children's books exports? When I started to do print exports of children's books, there was those old feeling people used to say, oh, cow dung is going to smell out of Indian books, and this is all things which I've heard of. My first job which I got children's books was, it was a supply to Aldi, 60,000 hard case books.
Caramel.
Yeah, it was eventually supplied to Aldi. I didn't have infrastructure. I went back to books and I said, Vasant, please do it. When we made the dummy, actually not realizing that the book was actually supposed to be this thick, because there was a special Spanish bulky 2.4 bulky paper which was originally used in that book, and when we used certain Indian mill paper, it was coming half of it. And we made the first dummy. I said, this is gone, this is dead. I sent the sample to the customer and he said, it's fine, this is going to Aldi, we'll accept it, and it's God's savior. So basically that's how my journey started. I said I have to do what anybody else in India is not doing. We've been doing board books from 2008 in India. So when I was in Europe markets at that time, so children's books used to be selling at 20 euros, 25 euros, 30 euros. And then this children's printing that we started to do with French guys and some Spanish guys, they said, we need content. There was this artist called Buscar at that time, which was famous all over Europe. There was one artist who had a team of illustrators, and that content had been overused and overused and overused. Luckily, I found some guys who taught me how to walk and stuff like that. Just India mein kehte, tu bana, and we will sell it, whatever. So I set up a small studio, a design studio with 7-8 artists. Community is on by itself a very high-rated community, very difficult to find. As you said, engineers, like paper engineers and stuff like that, and we started to create books. There was IPEX fair which was going on in London. I got a free ticket to go to that IPEX fair. I landed at the airport. I said, my IPEX mein, what will I do? And I went to the British Airways desk. Happened to come to know that there's a fair happening in Italy. They said this ticket is 700, I still remember, 734 pounds. I went to Bologna. I went to the book fair guys. I said, you have anything available? And that's what they gave me, a small shelf. So I put those books over on the setup day itself. And on the setup day, I sold probably 1 million copies of those. That's the size. And I said, this is the way to go. So we made that, and that sort of gave a push. This particular Frankfurt Book Fair last month, we created 277 unique new series of books which we had not created before. So as in how we kept on progressing, we started with some fairy tales and coloring books or whatever. So 2005 to 2008, then how to grow now further, because how many coloring books can I sell to a customer every time I see him? 2008 we started to do board books. First board book was a fiasco. We again got a huge order, 50,000 copies. We had the space at Greater Noida factory. We didn't have the labor or manpower. We started to manufacture. We had board, everything available, but nothing was working. I moved that production to China at that point in time. But then the next session of that, after 2 months, then we started to do. Currently, by God's grace, we are exporting to over 112 countries in 64 plus languages. I should say I'm very proud of what we are doing. Brijbasi is the only factory which replaces any Chinese factory. In terms of children's book production, it is the only factory. Leaving sound books and bath books, we do everything in-house. Today we have total factory strength of about 1,400 people, out of which 1,200 work out of one of the units. This is one of the books that we created. So even cloth plush, we are all doing in-house now. We made a book plus with the same character of the sheep going along with the plush. Yeah. So this is a feelings book. Post-COVID, there's a lot of things about feelings and good manners and stuff like that which came into the market. So then we made books about feelings, how you're feeling sad, high or low, and then this is one of the novelty formats in that, wherein this is a tab book. Wherein, so this is one of them. What is the first color that the child recognizes?
Black and white.
Black, yeah. This is a cloth book. Starts with basically it has black and white. The second color is red. The third is green. Yeah, that's how the child recognizes. So this is a simple cloth book which gets hung on a pram or whatever, and the child can learn. This concept is #1 on Amazon in the US. Probably you'll see like more than 27,000 reviews happening of this kind of stuff. A lot of that's like.
You do this in-house too?
Yeah. So this is again one of those books wherein we have a torch, right? So This is the torch working here. A lot of look and find is happening these days. So this is the concept over here that you basically are doing a look and find. Yeah. If you're in a jungle, your mother is telling you a story, or find how many. And then this is we do all this stuff as well. Apart from that, this is one of the most complicated pop-ups we've made.
Wow. This is the one I saw when I visited your factory.
So we've done dollhouses, princess castle, pirates, vampires, and all that sort of stuff in that. Why do I do this? It's because 50 years old. अब मैं सन की हो गया हूँ. This is what I like to do. Spend enough time in the industry doing regular stuff. If you don't go creative, if you don't go to the next level, you're doomed. And that's what happens with most printing factories. I always advise whoever new printers I meet or new people I meet, please get into creativity, please get into your own product lines, otherwise you're doomed. Yeah? Today we are doing 200,000 such books a day.
A day?
A day. We are exporting over 80 containers a month. This fair we had 277 absolutely new titles, which are not here, but they're absolutely new formats and new titles. At one time there was a challenge of selling the coloring book to the same client on the next visit. Now the challenge is from Bologna to Frankfurt. Even if I change the cover, the client doesn't even sniff those old titles. There's no way. So they always want only completely new formats from me. So we have this huge dummy department of 10 people making dummies in and out, because we have this huge demand of customers, and we had to send them out dummies so they could review it with their sales team. So I said, I'm making 100 dummies of each book and sending them across to so many customers. So why not I just print 3,000? 2008 we launched in India, but 12-13 I stopped India market altogether. Then one day sitting at the lockdown, I said, we've been doing such brilliant books, and they've been selling in millions of quantities in countries like Brazil. So why not India? I made about 100 new titles sitting in lockdown. December we launched in India. Those were all very different titles. So I said, those international bestsellers which I have, why not launch them in India? Those were not coloring books, and those were not. They were all creative stuff, some pop-ups, sound books, bath books, cloth books, we made all those titles. And they've been doing very brilliantly. Today I have almost 700 titles, and in the next 3 months probably go to 1,000. So there's almost 300 new titles in production. Hopefully many more to come.